Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Amateur Renaissance Podcast, Wingin It. I have here today David Werner from Appleton, Wisconsin. He's a financial advisor. Dave, how you doing today?
Good. Yeah, things are good. It got sunny here. It's been crummy weather, but yeah, sun came out. I wish it was outside, not dealing with this goddamn podcast. Is this almost over?
We're just getting started, big name. You look pretty tired.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, you look like
I don't know. It's the end of the school year, and everything comes to a head with the kids running all over the place, and they're looking forward to summer, and they don't want to get up in the morning and go to school, and busy at work, blah, blah, blah. Is Emmett in school?
Yeah. He goes all the way up to like June, middle of June or so. They start a little bit later out here. He had a bad day today. He got a detention.
Yeah, chip off the old block.
Yeah, he is, because he almost cried, too. So he is a chip off the old block. Like, he was mad because he didn't do anything wrong. And they had a substitute teacher, and all the kids at his table were messing around when the substitute teacher went out, I guess, throwing things around. So he got in trouble by association. So he was upset at the injustice of that.
Smart little bugger.
Jen is telling him to tell the teacher when she comes back, the regular teacher, just so he can stand up for himself. And part of me is just thinking, just take the pain. I don't know what the right thing to do is. You don't want him to be a tattletale, but he is only 6, so not like he's in Vietnam where the guy gets shot and he's screaming all over the place, and Barnes puts his hand over his mouth and take the pain, take the pain, take the pain. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Shut up! Shut up and take the pain. Take the pain!
So, Dave, let's talk about how you got into the business. How did you get it? You come from a family of financial advisors, is that right?
Yeah. When I look back on it, my grandfather from Wisconsin Rapids, he had a clothing store that he ran from his father. And then he didn't really want to do that anymore. He liked...
Keep talking. I'm going to go get a Corona.
Can you bring me one?
Sure.
He was into the horse track and betting and playing golf, and he always enjoyed the market, so he became a stockbroker, as it was called back in the day. And my father was a stockbroker, investment advisor for, probably 40 years. And now here I am, as is my brother Jeff. Didn't know what I wanted to do after college. And
do you know what you want to do now?
Yeah, I want to do this now. Yeah. Some days I don't want to do it, and I think about, as I do for a lot of my clients, retirement. But more and more, I'm enjoying it more than I ever have, which is really surprising.
No kidding. Why is that?
Probably because I have my own business now. I think when you own your own business, it makes everything a little bit more interesting and a little bit more real, and less working for the man, and you got more skin in the game. Someone told me, I think if you enjoy your profession at least 51% of the time, that's a victory.
Mm-hmm.
I always think about Steve Jobs saying, find your passion, and Warren Buffett. Well, that's Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett saying it, I mean...
And you can't make much money hunting turtles.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Although...
Just Dave's real passion.
Hold your horses. I thought I would slurp these little buggers all around. When I was a kid, I used to pet my turtles and lick my fingers, and I got real sick. Ended up, almost died. I got salmonella. I love turtles. I'm a very good turtle hunter, as you know.
Yeah, I have hunted with you many times.
Yeah.
So, after college, you went out to Colorado. You got into Janus Funds thing. Is that right?
Right. Before that, the two of us road tripped to Vegas. Yeah, we road tripped to Vegas. We gambled lost a bunch of money. You flew home, and then I drove to Yellowstone Park and worked there for the summer. We were in that red Chevy Blazer.
Yeah, and we almost hit an elk or something. Remember that? You were driving, it was your shift. I was trying to get some sleep, and all of a sudden the car went, woo, and you were like, what the hell was that? Remember that? That could have been the end of it right there. You don't remember that?
I don't.
Oh my God.
No recollection.
You bopped around up there for a while, just kind of like waiting for inspiration, listening to John Denver. Every once in a while, you'd partake in some of the, let me see if I can find a good euphemism for this, Western delights, Rocky Mountain highs. Is that correct?
Yeah, maybe every now and again. Yeah. Not that often. It was illegal back then. Yeah, so I moved out to Colorado, enjoying Janus funds. That was my first, quote unquote, real job. Right. But I had many other jobs before that. Dishwasher. I worked at a dog sled company for like a day, and the dog sled company went under out in Breckenridge.
Really?
And then for my ski pass, I was a janitor. I did that for a while, got a ski pass out in Breckenridge, Colorado. Then I worked I sold cars.
Toilet? Did you ever have to clean up a just really gross toilet? I mean, other than your own, I mean.
I bussed tables for a little bit.
You're kidding?
No, but boy, that got old. It was fun skiing for a season, but that was it for me. So I moved back to the big city.
Denver, to be exact.
Denver.
Denver, you stayed there for many, many years, right?
Yeah, almost 10 years.
You met Anne-Marie there.
That's right.
And you had 4 kids with Anne-Marie.
That's right. Graham was born in Denver.
Oh, you was? Okay.
When he was about 1, we moved back to northeast Wisconsin.
Okay, where you're from.
That's right.
And where your dad's business is.
That's right. Yeah, my dad was financial advisor for the time.
My dad's financial advisor for a while.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I think Tom dropped him like a box of hot bricks.
No. Okie dokie.
I don't know what happened. I think my dad decided to take it all on himself, to do it to manage his own money himself.
Exactly.
Because he was into that, and he's got an analytical mind, and he just would watch the stock market pretty assiduously, if that's a word, and he did very well in it.
He did, didn't he? He retired early.
I think he started investing when the market was at 710 in the mid-70s, something like that. Does that sound right?
Mid-70s, it was at below 1,000. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Does he still invest in individual stocks? Do you ever talk to him about
I don't know. I do every once in a while. I'll ask him a question, and then he always tells me to look at the PE ratio. And I can never remember if a high PE ratio is good or a low PE ratio is good. And then he has to tell me again. And then he tells me again. It's really easy. If the price is low compared to the earnings, it's a good bet. If the price is high compared to low earnings, it's not. Is that right?
Generally, a low PE ratio is generally better, but like Amazon has a really high PE ratio.
Let's say you have a price of 100 and earnings of 10.
Uh-huh.
What does that even mean, earnings of 10?
That means earnings per share. So the price per share is 100, right? And the earnings per share, you said, of 10. Generally, that means earnings per share of 10. So 100, the price divided by the earnings per share.
Right.
Gives
Is that high or low?
That'd be considered low. It would be a PE of price to earnings of 10. Generally, it's low. The S&P 500 right now has the 500 largest companies in the country. It has a PE of, I think it's around 17, 18 currently. But you look at companies like Google and Amazon, and sometimes the price is really high and their earnings are still really good, but the price is so high that the PE ratio is high. the price relative to the earnings is really high. But the
Right.
reason it's really high is because there's so much growth potential.
Stop. He's got this affliction between his toes, and he's chewing on it. We got to give him medicine for it. We give him this ointment and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, it's a pain in the ass, man.
Literally.
Speaking of pains in the asses, that I learned how to express his anal glands.
What does that mean?
You have to. Well, dogs, they have anal glands inside their butthole in their rectum, and they fill up. And some dogs, they fill up with like a material or a juice, like kind of like I don't know if it's. I think there's definitely some fecal matter in there that may be coming down the tube, and if the anal glands are pointed upwards, some of it will get in there, and they fill up and they irritate the dog. So maybe he'll be doing the duty slide sometimes. You ever seen dogs do that, where they
I haven't, probably seen it, but I haven't been around dogs enough to really. It sounds awful.
Well, it is. I mean, it's uncomfortable for them. So you have to. So every time we'd go to the vet, every 3 months or so, they'd do it for an extra $25. And I was like, this is starting to add up. And then E.T. said he does it himself on his own dog. And I'm like, well, he's an orthopedic surgeon, so he knows how to do stuff like that. So I thought to myself, well, I could probably learn how to do this. How hard can it be? It's disgusting, but, what are you going to do? So I got a box of, surgeon's gloves. And I got some, like, Vaseline kind of stuff. It's called something else. I forgot what it's called. But, so I dip my finger in the Vaseline stuff a little bit. I get in the shower with the dog because it's easier to shower him if I'm not, like, on my haunches, leaning over. My back is killing me. I'm trying to, I just get in there with him. So I do it first because it stinks, this stuff. You got to put your finger in the little bunghole. This is the outside of his thigh, let's say, right here, and his butt's here, his tail's going this way, and you pinch like this, and this brown goo comes out. Then you got to do it on the other side.
What's the brown goo?
I don't know. It's that stuff that I was explaining to you, like fecal material and anal gland juice. I don't know. The glands swell up like a little pillow on either side of the rectum. You watch this.
Thank you for that explanation.
If you want to be an amateur Renaissance man, you have to learn how to express your dog's anal glands. So tell me this then. PE ratio is just one of the things that you look at. What do you look at when you're looking for a good buy? Are you just mostly a mutual fund guy?
No, I'm a huge fan of mutual funds, especially in retirement accounts. Sometimes they're not that tax efficient, so it's nice to have them in retirement accounts because retirement accounts are tax sheltered, like an IRA or 401k. And it's just a good way to catch the broad, long-term returns of the market. And you're diversified. You don't have to worry as much about the ups and downs. But
Right.
I do buy individual stocks. And so, yeah, I look at the PE ratio, but to just, again, back to those, to make a blanket statement that low PEs are better, it's not necessarily true. Because no one would have invested in Google or Facebook or Amazon because they had high PEs, but the returns have been great. So I also look at, do they pay dividends? Does the company pay a dividend? And
What? What?
Are they an industry leader?
Right, but being an industry leader takes a long time to happen. I mean, you have to, like, people. A company will go with ups and downs. They'll be vilified one week and then hailed the next week. Oh, there's so many like market indicators that everybody talks about all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, here's one thing that I don't understand. One little tiny thing can happen to a company and the stock will plummet. But why is Facebook still in? Is it still going up?
Yeah, I think it's around 183 or so.
I sold my Facebook, by the way, folks. When Zuckerberg was in Congress, I was like, he's going down. Sell, sell, sell.
I think Facebook and Apple and Google, they're just going to be powerhouses for a long time. I've always had more luck with buying blue chip stocks, AT&T and Apple and IBM, Procter and Gamble.
Procter and Gamble and gamble with your proctologist. That one I'm going to cut out. That's a terrible joke. So just briefly, we didn't even talk about opening up a new business and as it's fraught with peril type of feelings that there might be. Maybe we could do that on another podcast. But previously, you had a company that had X amount of other brokers in there you could ask questions to and get advice on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now you're on your own. How do you get answers to questions if you're a little bit iffy on something?
Well, the nice thing about my move is that I was technically an employee of Wells Fargo, a financial advisor. I had my own book of business, as we call it. The move that I made was simply to the independent channel of Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo approved me to open my own business, and I still have access to all the resources of Wells Fargo. So I can still call analysts from Wells Fargo just like I did at the other office. It's just that I own the business now. I know a lot of other independent advisors.
What's it like being a 6'6" financial advisor? Now, you played basketball in high school. You played basketball in college, right?
I did for Division III.
For Duke.
Yeah, remember Christian Leitner? That was me.
I hate Christian Leitner.
I know, but
until I saw a documentary called "I Hate Christian Leitner." I swear to God, there's so many people that hate Christian Leitner.
Yeah.
And these guys hated Christian Leitner. They made a documentary about it. Now I kind of like him. You played for what? St. Olaf's? Isn't that what it was?
St. Thomas.
Did you play St. Olaf?
We played against St. Olaf. We played against St. Olaf.
We played against St. Olaf, and Olaf was the only guy on their team. It was just you guys against Olaf.
Our mascot, you know what our mascot was?
What could it be? Tom Winch?
Tom Winch.
What was it?
There's a Tommy.
What's that?
I don't know. Just a big a dude that was just a St. Thomas Tommy.
Then you quit after 1 year because what? It just wasn't going to be fruitful?
I think part of it was just I was the tallest goon around, and so I was kind of like forced onto the court. I didn't have a choice, but I liked it. You know, I tell my boys they all play tennis and they like.
Okay, you were on the tennis team too.
I was on the tennis team. Yeah. Is work on your weak hand. That's what I never had. I could never go to my left. And if you want to be an amateur renaissance man, you gotta be able to go both ways, man.
Right, that should be the new theme. Instead of stay mediocre,
you gotta be able to go both
gotta go to the left.
There's so much time, you know, even Division III. And I met some guys on the rowing team. So I got into rowing, and I loved being outside, and we'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go row on the Mississippi River. They liked to party and have a good time. That seemed to fit kind of what I was looking for. Combination of a little exercise and a little extracurricular, if you know what I mean.
I don't. Explain it to the people, Dave.
You gotta find the right fit, if you will. Did you hear that late Chewbacca died?
Yeah.
He was 7'2".
This is your chance.
I know.
To go to Hollywood.
I know. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I watched that the other day with Andrew. Just the first scene. I love the first scene.
Did you cover his eyes when the guy comes after he goes, "Give me the idol," and then he
gets No,
well, he's in 10 or 11, right?
6th grade, yeah.
Okay. All right.
12.
Yeah, I have to cover Emmett's eyes when that part comes. And I cover his eyes when the guy gets chopped by the propeller, too. You know, the big fighting guy?
Oh, yeah. I love that scene, man.
That's some good movie making.
It really is. The camera work is incredible.
Yes,
you can just see it.
The way he sets up and tells the story. Spielberg is the best at that kind of stuff.
When, what's his, who's the lead character?
Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
I'm going to lay down under this desk for like 20 minutes and we'll resume this.
Okay. Part 2 later. Now that you have your own business, Dave, you can do that like George Costanza.
Yeah, I do. I have a yoga mat here that,
Yeah.
I'll do some stretching and then just lay down for 10 minutes.
So what else do you do, Dave? Like, I'm trying to think of Renaissance-y man things that you do. Oh, you barefooted. You were 6'6" barefooter, folks. That's rare.
Yeah.
You don't see many guys 6'6" barefoot water skiing. Weren't you at the state swimming champ when you were 10?
No, I wasn't a champion, but I was a pretty good swimmer. In hindsight, I probably should have stuck with swimming.
You should. I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah,
Dave.
I had the
Why
right.
didn't you? You're like halfway to the end by the time you dive in.
I'm the same height as, I think Michael Phelps is 6'6",
He's
right?
6'7".
Not putting myself in the same category as Michael Phelps, but basketball was just like more popular, and I wanted to get more girls, and I wanted to be like,
Did it work?
kind of.
Even with those tiny shorts?
The tiny shorts. I was before the Michael Jordan era. Like literally the year after I graduated, everything went to long shorts. I had the ball huggers. It sucked. There's literally a picture of me that my mom and Aunt Betsy, like I literally look like an alien. I was 6'6", like 173 pounds. I was such a mess.
Tell us about how many injuries you've had over the years. What's the first time you broke something?
I was at my mom's Aunt Bobby's house, my mom's aunt, in Chicago, and I was climbing she had an apple tree out front, and I don't know, just climbed up it and fell out and broke my wrist.
Okay, so that's
Injury number one. Injury number two was probably, I would say, a broken ankle playing basketball.
So that's two. Then you tore your ankle.
I broke the other ankle.
Your wrist again. You broke your wrist. You broke the other ankle too?
Yeah. And then I broke the other wrist because remember we were painting. I had it on in the summer.
Yeah.
My dad used to take one of the leaf blowers, and it was those old casts, and I'd have to put a bag around it to go swimming, and it was so nasty.
How did you break that one?
I don't remember. God, basketball probably. I broke a second ankle when I was a junior in high school.
Well, yeah, didn't you tear the ligaments in your ankle? Trying to go up for a layup?
Yeah, I don't know what I did. I broke it. I don't know exactly what I did.
And then you broke it just recently, telemark skiing.
Yeah, up north. Yeah,
Yep.
That was the worst. That was 2 years ago.
And then you broke your shoulder and elbow bike riding in Colorado.
Yeah, I broke my radial head and separated my shoulder, yeah.
Jesus.
And then in college, I tore my meniscus in my knee. I had knee surgery. Did you know? Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I was literally running straight down the court and just was like, ding!
So that's like 7 things right there.
Yeah. And then had another bike accident and did this. I separated this other
That's
shoulder.
right. Jeez, Dave.
It's really, I get
It's a
so.
miracle you can even swing a golf club.
I know, I think about that.
My thing is the stenosis and my whatchamacallit from water skiing. And having my body go up over my, immobilized arm. It felt like that, slalom skiing. For a little while there, I couldn't even use this arm to go get something in the pantry. It starts with an L. Dude, we've been talking for an hour and 8 minutes.
As I said, make it 6 minutes long.
Are you subscribed? Do you get the emails automatically when I post something?
No.
You son of a bitch, you don't? I thought you did.
No, I got to get on it. I'm so lame.
Subscribe, man. Subscribe. Check it out. It's kind of cool. Talk to you soon. All right, bye.
But.